Hi, it's Michelle, and today's a hard day. Um, I found out this morning that we lost another Chiarian, and that's always hard. Um, the family made the decision to take her off of life support, and I totally understand that. I'm not at all picking at the family. That's something that I hope my family never has to make that decision. We had to make that decision with my mom. And I usually try and hold my emotions in and not cuss or anything on my videos. But today I'm not going to hold back because it really needs to get out and it needs to be put out there completely unadulterated, unedited, unrefined, just raw. What does it feel like to be a Chiarian and have your friends pass away from this condition or these conditions that doctors say are no big deal? Wow. It's overwhelming. We're all told at one time or another that all our conditions are all separate, that they're not related, that Chiari has nothing to do with aneurysms. That my mom died at 37 of a brain aneurysm. Her mother had, I think, 7 brain aneurysms filled with 6 of them were filled with titanium coils. And really, they only found those because, and they were all separate, by the way. They weren't like all together. It wasn't like she got checked and wow, you have 7 brain aneurysm. Each time they filled one, she got another one. And when my mom passed back in 1989, they told us that because she hadn't had blunt force trauma, that there were conditions that might be hereditary and that us kids should get checked. But when I got diagnosed with Chiari, I was told that they weren't related. And people are told that now. And they actually are very much related, right? Even things that aren't happening in the brain, even people who have mitral valve prolapse and different problems with their heart, right? Aortic aneurysms and hernias and organ tearing, GI issues. All these things are related. They're not unrelated. And it's not the Chiari causing them. It's the connective tissue disorder behind the Chiari that's causing them. We're all told that we have a congenital Chiari. And doctors are still debating amongst themselves what they're going to call it. And that makes it really confusing. But the truth is, I don't really care. We're diagnosed based on the tonsil herniation, the hindbrain herniation. And since that's the only measurement that was on my radiology report, and probably yours, if you don't believe me, look at your first radiology report. Look and see if they measured anything other than the tonsillar herniation. Because if that's the only measurement they made and that's the diagnosis and they came up with, then they gave you a wrongful diagnosis. And the truth is that the decompression that we're given, that's a posterior fossa decompression for a small posterior fossa. If you had other things causing that tonsillar herniation, then you may have just had the wrong brain surgery done. And removing the only bone holding your brain in the skull when you have a connective tissue disorder that makes your organs prone to prolapse can be really a problem because it's just giving a bigger hole for it to fall through. But man, I've gone to the ER and I've had the head of the doctor on call, the head doctor on call, ask me how to spell it. and had her come back and tell me that, good news, Chiari doesn't cause headaches. And I'm just like, do me a favor, go back and read the other half of the wiki that you just looked that up on, because I guarantee it's there, right? I mean, that's a stupid one. That's a no-brainer, right? I mean, that's one of the top symptoms. But the truth is that I was having a headache here in my forehead where it felt like the pressure was going to bust my skull. I was post decompression. I was having issues with my intracranial pressure, and she wanted to tell me what is and the headaches aren't a part of Chiari. And it really is that stupidity that frustrates us, right? It's that stupidity and doctors not understanding is why so many Chiarians take their life, right? I mean, there are so many people that are, told that you really, like, legislators think that they can understand our pain, right? And we should just do yoga and take an aspirin. Really? You have no idea what you're talking about. So shut up, right? That should be like political science 101. Shut up if you don't know what you're talking about, right? Because what you're doing and what you're saying are getting people killed. And the status quo of you not even having to research anything, because God forbid any research or development happen after you went to medical school. It's absurd, right? The MRI, the advent of the MRI changed so many things, right? Like the Monroe-Kelly hypothesis was proven to be a doctrine, right? And if you're a neurosurgeon or a neurologist watching this, look it up. Look it up. It's out there, right? And it's actually not all that hard to understand. And it's on video. Like, there are videos to explain it if reading comprehension is hard for you, right? But we should expect our professionals, our medical professionals, to be professional enough to find stuff out, to continue their education, especially when they're going to do surgery on us. And us as Chiarians, we're not really off the hook because we can't trust them. We cannot trust them unilaterally. We have a responsibility to fight for ourselves. Even if we're having brain fog and cognitive issues, you need to get somebody in your family that will help you understand, that will do that research with you. Because the truth is what our doctors don't know is killing us. But what we don't know about what our doctors don't know is killing us. Right? And I know so many Chiarians that say, I just can't wrap my head around it. I can't read. My reading comprehension sucks. I get it. Right? When I first started doing research about 2.5 years ago, I remember just crying, going, I looked at this study and I had I think 6 or 7 surgeries at the time. I don't remember. But I'm looking at the study going, God, I need you to help me, because I have like so many colors of highlighters on it. And I really don't understand it. I'm like on paragraph 2. And I don't understand it. And I need you to help me with my understanding. Because if I don't wrap my brain around it and wrap my brain around what my doctors don't know, one of these surgeries is going to take my life. And, the truth is if our kids had this, we'd want to know everything. We would want to know every single detail. Success rates, everything. And don't buy into doctors saying that they have 100%, 100% success on decompression. Those doctors are doctors that aren't returning calls, right? Those doctors, I guarantee you, they have patients that have complained, that have said, no, I still have problems. And they say, no, you're cured. That's how they have a success rate, right? So don't know that that's a big red flag and don't go to them, right? And it's not that, and I get it. We're like, you don't know more than the doctors. How could you know more than the doctors? We all thought that. I advocate so hard because I don't want anybody else to end up fighting the fight that I have to fight. It could be easier. If I was properly diagnosed, they could have done my surgeries in a different order and had better results. They could have taken care of the pressure that was pushing my tonsils down before they opened the hole. And there's really no going back. And this is not something that's disputed, or I'm batting my surgeon about it. He gets that. You know, he's told me if I could check your pressures, if I could go back and check your pressures before, I would have. And but it should be no surprise to him that I have to fight this, because if one of my kids ends up having pressure problems and they have a connective tissue disorder that makes them prone to organ prolapse, and the cerebellum is just a complex organ, I need to make sure that they don't just get decompressed because they believed their neurosurgeon and they believe their doctors. Right? We get that we are yelling from the rooftops and that we're nobody, but yet we're everybody. I need you to fight. I need us all to fight. You know, someone that runs one of the memorial groups, when we first started, she blocked me from the memorial group because we're doing angel things, you know. And when we started, what's funny about it is that not funny, sad, pitiful, actually. When we started the website, when we first started thinking about the website, we did have somebody from the memorial group that was on board and that was helping, and she has since passed. But I was given an Excel file with all the angels' names and all their families' contact information, because she really wanted to make sure that the angels were done right. And I insisted that, you know, that these other women had sown so much into the community by memorializing the angels, that I wanted to bring them on board. I wanted to make the angels thing their platform, right? So that, because I didn't have a lot of money, but we had the money to do a website. We didn't really know how to do a website, but we were going to learn, right? We were going to wrap our big ass brains around it. And when I talked to her, when I talked to one of the leaders of the memorial site, about doing it, she wanted to know if we were going to pursue any legislation for Chiarians. And I hadn't really thought about it, but I was kind of on the spot, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. Like, if something arises, absolutely. Whatever we decide to do, we can do. Right? It's our website. It's our platform. We're a public benefit nonprofit. And she got really mad because she ran a nonprofit that promised to affect legislation and never really did. And she thought that a nonprofit couldn't pursue anything political. And that's actually not true. And I've ran a nonprofit before, and I've ran a religious entity nonprofit before. So specifically, we have to be careful about crossing those boundaries. But it's not that you can't talk about anything political. It's not that you can't organize or pursue anything political. It's that there's only a certain percentage that can be allotted to that. So we're very careful in our calls to action. But I really hate it that she just blocked me, because it wasn't about her and it wasn't about me. It was about angels. It was about Chiarians, and it was about angel families, and the loss that we're having in the entire community. And we have to pull together, right? Like, united we stand, divided we fall, right? If we don't start putting this stupid stuff aside, right? Like, you like this doctor, so I'm not going to be your friend. That's just absolutely absurd, right? Because I'm a Chiarian. I'm you, right? I'm fighting for answers too. And this is so much bigger than that, right? This is a bigger problem than that. And so I just want to encourage everybody to come together, right? And to get better, right? To be so committed to seeing this fight change that we let trivial shit go. And unite to change it. Because that's when we're going to see a real big change. So in memory of all of the angels fallen, I want to encourage you one last thing before I go. Write your stories. We created a platform to submit them so that the stories can be told. The truth is that I could be one headache away from my fight being done. I don't know how I've survived this far, and there were times that I didn't think that I would. But nobody's going to tell your story the way that you'll tell it. Not your husband, not your wife, not your kids. Nobody's going to tell it the way that you'd tell it. Nobody knows just how bad those headaches are. So tell your story. It's your story. Let it be told. Let it be heard. And if you're a family of an angel, we'd really love to get their story told, and we'll help you pull it together. We'll help you in any way we can. We don't have a lot of money or a lot of resources, but we're doing the best we can, and we have a handful of people that are just really committed. So let's get those stories told, and let's make sure that doctors can go and find a bunch of stories in one location. Lawyers can go and be like, wow, there's only XYZ, there's only 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 Chiarians saying the same things, that it's so much more than what doctors make it out to be, right? Let's have one place where they can go to and hear all our voices. Let's change this. Take care.